So we are Team NDA now, and we are speaking out for Challenge 1. This is our team. This is who we are. So we have Chris, Flo, Casey, Justin, Roger, and Ryan. So our challenge summary. So everyday NDAs are being misused to protect guilty parties. The Can't Buy My Silence charity are aiming to speed up the reform and legislation, and this hack challenge aids this cause. Here at Rolls-Royce, the home of innovation, we present a new creative solution to show the real human costs of these NDAs. Can't Buy My Silence are a charity campaigning for the legislative and regulatory change to make NDAs illegal when hiding crime, abuse, or anything else other than their original purpose. So the journey of our project, so our solution starts with an evidence-based policy, highlights the real cost of human NDA misuse. Our dashboard then aims to show how trends by making the invisible visible. Benefits of this will hopefully be aiming to shape law and policy in real time, and finally, give some suggestions for future improvements.
This is one of the many real-life examples from our dataset. During what should have been a protected and joyful time bonding with my baby, I was instead pulled into a distressing legal process. No one should have to choose between their career and their integrity. No one should spend their maternity leave being forced into silence.
We run our data through a Power BI solution, producing a number of graphs. Here we're talking about positive or negative impacts versus the NDA, the red being an NDA was not signed, and a black that an NDA was signed. We can see here that there seems to be far more negative impacts when the NDA was not signed than when it was signed. Sounds a bit strange, this one, doesn't it? And as we move on to the next slide, what's actually going on is the harassment was actually much longer when an NDA was signed, suggesting that the NDA is preventing the full release of the data and, in effect, almost like a gagging order for those who are subject to this.
Here we are looking at making the invisible visible. In this slide, we're looking at the effect of NDAs on the level of impact to victims of these cases. The current data is showing us that sort of non-NDA signers show higher impact to victims. This does then pose the question of whether NDAs as a whole are preventing full disclosure of impact to the victims. So those that have signed NDAs on this list may not be able to give full disclosure of the impacts. Also, there is an assumption as well that many can't fill out this data because of NDAs, leading to a lower than shown result. The data now kind of supports that theory in that there is a higher average impact to victims when under an NDA. The results here showing only a very slightly higher impact to those that have signed an NDA, although those that are unable to answer for legal reasons, there is an assumption that those people, as victims, could still be under an NDA, which will raise the level of impact to a factor of 2 against those that haven't signed an NDA.
In terms of the future, with current data sets and more time to dashboard, we would like to analyse escalation trends from informal to formal reporting, investigate harassment acts by gender, explore any correlation between signed NDAs and their positive and negative consequences, and if there are any early warning indicators that could lead to NDAs and the specific combinations of harassment that are more likely to result in an NDA.
With improved datasets, we would like to investigate the relationship between harasser and victim and whether there's a correlation between an NDA being signed or not, length of time from first reporting to the completion of the investigation, indicators as to whether NDAs were in relation to allegations or if they've been signed for another reason, further investigation into regional distribution of NDAs, and the length of time from start of harassment to reporting date.
Question 1. With 16 pages of dashboards, how have you ensured users can quickly identify the most important insights rather than becoming overwhelmed by the volume of information?
Actually, this is really easy. When the Power BI dashboards actually open up, the 4 most used and most worthwhile tabs are all right in front of you. The rest is supplementary.
Question 2. What is one limitation of your solution that would need addressing before real-world deployment?
So somebody coming in cold may struggle a bit with the data and what's going on. A data dictionary and/or README would be an amazing next step. Realistically, we needed more time, and doing more data manipulation in Power BI probably would have been more helpful as well.
Question 3. Which of your visuals best highlights the impact or misuse of NDAs, and why did you choose that?
So there are 2 key visuals that we want people to really take a look at. The first visual is called average months of harassment versus an NDA. And it's actually very clear here that those who had an NDA which was longer, there's 2 dashboards that we'd actually like people to take a look at. So those who signed an NDA had on average a month more of harassment than those who did not. And the other visual for formal consequences showed that in fact more negative events are reported when an NDA was not signed. But is this really true? And this is likely to be the fact that the respondent was not able to talk freely if they'd signed an NDA.